meeting to order. Please rise for the prayer and pledge of allegiance. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses,
as we
forgive those who trespass against us.
And lead us not into
Temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
all right. Good evening, everybody. We will start with item D, the Efficiency Smart Renewal presentation. We have Adam, Sean, and Joey all here, so Adam, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay.
I think you're live.
Oh, I am? Okay, great. Good evening, and thank you for having us here this evening. I'm Adam Ward. I think I recognize just about everybody around the table, but I'm Adam Ward. I'm with American Municipal Power, and Efficiency Smart is one of the programs that we offer to our members, and I think we have a slide presentation as well. So I was going to do a real quick
It was in the council packet.
real quick high points on who American Municipal Power is. I think most of you know, but sort of canned explanation.
Scroll down.
There you go.
There we go. So we'll go to the first slide. So as you well know, Ohio Public Power Systems formed AMP Ohio in 1971. I think Napoleon was one of the originators, one of the first communities. And the whole purpose was to strengthen wholesale market buying power, gain access to transmission, and enhance advocacy efforts. Today, AMP provides wholesale power and services to more than currently 134 municipal electric systems in 9 states, diverse generation portfolio. We had some of our committee meetings today, and want to thank Napoleon for participating and really being engaged in a lot of the projects that we move forward with. So really want to thank the City of Napoleon. So we have a 22-member Board of Trustees, and we appreciate Napoleon's participation in the Board of Trustees for years. You guys are stalwart and really one of our strongest members, so we really appreciate that. So go to the next slide. Obviously, we manage supply, competitively priced, reliable wholesale power to members, negotiate and coordinate power supply options and interconnection agreements, diverse array of power resources, and advocates for members on legislative regulatory issues. And we want to thank Napoleon for its presence in February when we go to DC and we advocate with our lawmakers. I mean, it makes a big difference, and it helps to have a voice in DC. We get a lot of traction from that, and we appreciate the participation. So the next slide is really just a map of all of our members, and that's all I have about AMP. You guys are here to hear about, or we're here to talk to you about Efficiency Smart and what a great program it is, and I'm going to turn it over to Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Sean.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us back here. We appreciate it. So, as Adam mentioned, AMP provides member services as well as power supply services. I like to think we are the marriage of those two things in one. This is an energy efficiency program, and if you saw the title of the slides, it was Power Supply Plus. So what we hope to do is meet a small percentage of your power supply need, and do it with benefits that other forms of power supply don't come with. And so when we think about what those are, there are 4 of them we hear most about, and you guys have heard these before. I'll probably talk about them every time I come here. Sorry if that's repetitive and redundant, but the truth is the truth, and I'm not going to doctor it. So, but what today I think we'll spend some time focusing on is the most affordable way to meet power supply needs. That'll be our highlight of the day. I want to talk to you about a little bit what's happening in the market and how this service helps you in that regard. But as you know and hopefully have experienced and heard about, In Napoleon, we increase customer satisfaction. We'll provide some anecdotes and evidence of that, as well as it's a great customer engagement tool and it helps you with economic development on a number of fronts. So let's go to the next slide. So, not everyone I've told likes numbers as much as I do, so I've been coerced into putting this into a visual graph form. And this is really a simple comparison. The orange line is the market price if you are to go out onto the market and buy new electricity today. It blends in the costs of the three components of power, which are energy or megawatt hour costs, capacity costs, and transmission. Those three things are blended here for both lines. But if you were to go out to market, that top line is in orange is the one you would probably be seeing the cost for. As you can see, it's going to top out over $100 come 2026, which is not far away, as my budget process reminds me. So what's not even yet included in this chart is there is new sort of market information that's out there. This uses the latest in AMP's power supply team's analysis of the market. What we haven't yet had a chance to include is that what we hear is that the price of natural gas is rising. Why that matters is a lot of generation in the United States, roughly 40% of it is still from burning natural gas. So when that price goes up, electricity prices go up on the market. And so if we have to buy new power, we're exposed to even higher prices. The reason this line has been going up in recent years, you've probably heard about it, maybe heard about it from Kevin, is that capacity prices are going up so significantly, they almost seem to be adding a zero to the end of it. It's not actually true, it's more like 4 times, but it's a really significant spike in capacity charges. So you've dealt with transition cost rising over the past 10 years, capacity in the last couple of years, and unfortunately we're going to continue to see energy prices rise in the next couple of years. So that's all what we face in the market when we go buy new generation. Okay, efficiency smart's the green line. 3 things I like to point out about this is it's lower than the orange line, it's more stable than the orange line, and it's more flat than the orange line. Energy efficiency is not vulnerable to all those market trends you just heard me talk about, and it's one of the reasons why this is an economically intelligent decision to make to meet some of your power supply needs. All right, so the next slide will give me back my satisfaction in going into the numbers behind the graph, and these are, oops, throwing pens everywhere. These are Napoleon specific. They're really just the cost comparisons of, again, if you went out to get market price, here they're broken down. The top row is energy, the bottom row is capacity and transmission, AKA demand. So if you go out to market, these are kind of comparing efficiency smart's costs versus what you would see on the market, and you can see there that it's just a massive, massive reduction in cost to get your energy needs through efficiency smart. Please tackle me with any questions, or just raise your hand politely. But again, when I talk about the plus side of what we do, this is the really satisfying part of my job, is we get to help a lot of people along the way and make them happy, and in turn, hopefully, make them happy with the city of Napoleon, right? So really, I think, and we see this in our work, and we hear this in our feedback and our customer surveys, how we know it lowers their cost, but how much it reflects their appreciation of the utility. It helps them to appreciate their utility better, helps them to appreciate public power, right, and what its value is. It demonstrates your investment back in the community, and I think that's what's appreciated. And if you go to the next slide, there is a word cloud, which is, I like this one. We tried to distill all of the open-ended residential customer feedback that we get in our survey data into something meaningful. Turns out that's hard to do. Word cloud was our best solution. You all have seen a word cloud I've put up in front of you before. This one's new. Check it out. Don't sleep on me here on this one. This one's good. And one of the things I love, the two biggest words here, right? Thankful, helpful. And I think that really, to me, drives home, A, why I enjoy my job, and B, what makes this a good return investment back into the community, and the customers certainly see that, feel that, and appreciate it. Okay. Next slide. Customer engagement. So I think you all know, but I'll reiterate, we do try to act as an extension of the utility. Joey here is our account manager who works with Napoleon, and really we just are out there trying to help business customers in particular in this regard, and residential ones through customer support. We have lots of different ways with engaging. By the way, we have a brand new website. You should check it out. I know you all have efficiency.smart.org bookmarked, but if you don't, it's efficiency.smart.org. And check it out. It's a new website. It looks great. We actually get a ton of traffic to that website, and there's a lot of great information. Now that is a new way we can engage with customers even better through providing resources and tips and a lot of great information for them where they don't have to buy anything. They can just learn about changes they can make in their home to improve their comfort and energy efficiency and reduce costs. Next slide. All right, yeah, economic development. I think there's a long tradition of our collaboration here in Napoleon with working with businesses to help local ones grow and reduce costs, to help attracting new businesses to town, and I don't think I need to say too much about that. So on to the next slide. This one's a little different. It's not one I usually have in the deck, but I thought it was really cool to look at. So you all have been in this program since our inaugural year. You're one of our founding members. Thank you for that. Since our inaugural year, this is as long as I've been working with the program, by the way, but since 2011. And I thought it'd be interesting to put up some results to date of what we've accomplished working together. And so that work has saved $11 million of utility costs, $16 million in customer costs. And I know, Lori, we've talked before about residential participation, and here we get to see it's almost 660 unique households served in the city, and then 38,000 lighting products. That's, yeah, I had to double check that number. But it's awesome, and it's again, really rewarding work to do. On the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about the numbers, but you can read there. We have a testimonial from James Iden here. I think the part of that testimonial I like to see the most, and I think points to the value of our account management team and our engineering work and the way we approach it, is that second to last statement that says, found opportunities for savings we didn't even know existed. And I think that's one of the things, the value propositions we really bring to the table for companies who, they're experts at doing their jobs, and hopefully we're experts at doing ours, and that helps them to find opportunities that they weren't thinking of, maybe even the vendors weren't thinking of. We do have a great pipeline, or rather we have a lot of projects we've closed on this contract cycle to date, 16 projects with 11 different companies, and we expect to see more close. This is actually using our conservative estimates. We expect to see at least 4 projects of 4 companies close by the end of the year, and thus the end of the contract cycle. Next. To highlight the work we've done with our residential customers, I don't know if any of you all got a chance. We had an appliance recycling event here in town last weekend, just a couple days ago. Maybe you all brought your appliances yourselves and participated, but it was a great event. I think we had about 60 units that were recycled by about 35 to 40 individuals. It's great. Those have become really popular events, really driving up that level of participation, and again, getting us into the community to connect with people and have them learn about new ways they can use the program. But I'm happy to say that over the last contract cycle, and we're not done yet with this one, but over that last contract cycle, our residential participation levels have increased 75%. So these numbers, 75% higher, and I went ahead and added in the appliance recycling from last week. Okay, next slide. So what's on the horizon? I already spoiled my own slide with the new website launch, but it is a really great website. Check it out. And in case you don't know, when Black Friday rolls around and you're doing your online shopping, come to our online store if you're a resident. And you can check out there are some crazy good deals on thermostats, because what happens is the manufacturers put out discounts and the site puts out discounts and we put out discounts, and there are literally times where you can buy a thermostat for the low price of $0. We will limit you to one, but if you need a new smart thermostat in the home, check it out. The next slide. All right, so brings us to the present, where we are in the current contract cycle. This contract cycle runs 2023 through the end of 2025. So on December 31st of this year, this current contract is scheduled to end, which is one of the reasons I'm here today to talk to you. We are forecasting to do pretty well in that contract against goals. Again, this top line here where it has percentages of goals achieved is a conservative forecast, but we expect to hit around 104% of the megawatt hour goal, not quite hitting the KW goal. That's at about 77%. Even those numbers have gone up about 2% since we put this slide deck together last week. So they are still going up. We're not done yet. We haven't thrown in the towel. But there have been some, just to speak to those results, there have been some challenging headwinds this year economically. I know that's not the first time you've heard that this year. There has been some uncertainty in the market. There's been costs rising in the market. For example, I don't disclose individual company names in this setting. However, we've been working with a large company locally on a project they expected to see close this year. They ran into some internal challenges and some cost challenges. A big portion of that is now delayed until next year. It's not gone away. It's just not going to be able to close in this contract cycle. Forms a great pipeline for next year. Doesn't do as helpful on this year's contract results. So we've seen some other hiccups in the road, but I think largely it's been very successful. We have, just so you know, in the face of those headwinds in 2026, we've gone out with extra support, spent extra time engineering support, Joey's presence in town, and we have just really, some of it knowing it's cost pressures, we've really been aggressive with our financial incentives that we've been offering. Sometimes that's not enough to change. If there's turnover at a local organization or something like that at an employee level, we can't overcome that with a financial incentive. But we have been pushing against those headwinds. I think we've made good progress. I'd love to be able to present 100 and 100, but I'm also, like I said, stuck to the truth. And so anyway, that is our current forecast. That is what we're looking at. The good news of that is the return on investment is 202%, which if that's not the best ROI presented to you this year, I want to meet who's in the race with me. And actually, that is a place, that number is higher than we would have forecasted before because, again, it includes some escalation in the power costs that you're avoiding paying, right? And when we run that number again for the next contract cycle, spoiler for the next slide, it's going to be even higher, right? Because those prices will continue to escalate. And so I'll leave it at that. And then, so to look finally at the terms for the next contract, presents a monthly cost of a little less than $19,000. There's a 3-year cost of $682. I'm rounding off here but again, these are pretty similar to what we've seen in recent contract cycles, goals. Now, the things that the two most notable differences here are the two last rows. Look, I just said $2 million in avoided costs and 200% ROI. Now it's 2.7 and 296%, partially because they assume 100% goal attainment, but they also we are dealing with rising energy costs on all fronts, something we are all facing. So those numbers sort of go up, achieve the same results, save more money. It's a it's a good sales pitch for me to be able to tell. It's not a very great reality to tell your neighbors that their costs are going to go up. So I try to enjoy these moments when I can make it a piece of good news. And then finally, this is really, last slide here, to just reiterate again what we believe to be the value of this program in communities like Napoleon. And then I want to leave it to you to ask questions.
Thank you, Sean. Great presentation. I'll open the floors up for questions.
Just want to make a comment that I've used the recycling program for appliances before,
Excellent.
and I'm currently waiting on an appointment to be set up for one now. I couldn't bring it to the event.
Oh, okay.
It's just too big, but I'm getting rid of a 32-year-old freezer, and I'm sure they're much more efficient now.
That's right. And by doing that, we take that off the summer, you know.
That's
really-
right.
get the
And always
KW.
taking advantage of the other products, like ACE and things like that, and I think that's a very good thing for the community. To
Would you
save-
say you're
I'm
thankful
saving-
and it's helpful?
Yes, I am. I'm saying that. I'm trying to say that.
I don't wanna prompt it
not
too
being
much.
so promoting, but I'm trying to say that. I think it is.
That's great. I also want to say, let's get that done in 2025, and let's get that in the contract results. Absolutely. And don't forget, all of you, please take advantage. Other questions, comments? We'll take more praise as well. We're happy to receive that.
Oh, sorry, I don't have any
Oh,
praise,
fair
Sean,
enough.
sorry. Going back to the word cloud that you were talking about,
Yes.
were all of those words from Napoleon customers, or was that from?
Okay,
everyone?
no, I wish I could say,
Okay, just checking.
but no.
And the other question I had is, if for some reason we don't go forward with another contract, that company that you were talking about that wasn't able to complete their project this year, are you still going to be able to help them next year?
Not if you didn't move forward with another contract. Basically, we offer consultative services until the end of the year, and then for incentives, like the only exception, if they, say, completed the installation the first couple weeks of December, got all their paperwork in on time, you know, we'll still send out checks in the first couple months, but if you were to conclude participation, no.
Okay. Just checking it.
And we have lots of great things coming, so many
Right.
things. Other questions, comments?
I had a situation just a couple days ago due to changes in my office. Receipt printer was not going into hibernation mode, and I could see how much power or how many watts it used, amps, how many amps it used when it was in hibernation versus how many amps it used when it was on full. And I had to do some research because I like to try and do numbers myself, and it's like, no way, when this thing's not in hibernation, it's using over $220 a year, and at 13-cent power. And I thought, yeah, that can't be right, so I called up Joey and I said, could you have an engineer call me and make sure I'm doing the math right? And he said, yeah, you're right. He said, because it's not going to hibernation using 0.1, it was using 1.6 times the hours and everything else. That's a $200 plus cost that I found a workaround that I can make it, you know, so I might be using a third of that.
A, I appreciate your affinity for numbers.
Yeah.
B, I'm glad you got the problem solved and we could help. But I think that points to, you know, so many of us, honestly, when these aren't our fields of expertise, whatever they are, right, we don't realize what is happening sort of behind the scenes and what is used. Do you have like a watt meter that was able to help you measure
No,
it? Just reading the-
I was reading, you know, when
Yeah.
it's fully awake, it's 1.6
Okay.
versus 0.1,
Okay.
so.
Because we do have something called an electric usage monitor. You're always welcome to borrow to.
I got the information I needed, and I got the
All right.
confirmation. First I thought about bothering Chad, and he's a busy guy, and I thought, no, I'll call Energy Supply.
That's right, we're here for it. So,
So I did borrow that meter one time a few years ago, and it was helpful on one point, it wasn't helpful on the other. The one, it showed the dehumidifier I had was terrible and not doing well. And the other one, I plugged it or checked the TV that my son would leave on all the time.
Yes.
And I would yell at him about, hey, you're wasting electricity.
Yeah,
That barely
sorry.
used any. So you didn't help me with that part.
Yeah, there was nothing in this presentation that I said I would help you win arguments with your children.
I know. Thank you.
But that, there's a record somewhere, right? And unless, the exception to that is if you were running one of those old super thick plasma TVs,
Right.
those things, they used a lot of power. So maybe put one of those in the room and
Yeah.
then you can go back to yelling. But don't do that,
I
it's a
kicked him
terrible
out
idea.
already. It's good. He's out.
Right.
Anything else from council? Sean, Adam, Joey, thank you all for your time, for the presentation. We really appreciate it and appreciate the partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all.
See you next week.
See you, Adam.
All right, we'll move to item E, approval of minutes. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved from the September 2nd, 2025 regular council meeting. Hearing none, they will stand approved. Item F is citizen communication. If anyone is in attendance tonight or online that would like to address council for a topic outside of the agenda, now would be the time to do so. Reports from council committees. G1, the ad hoc committee on the structure of compensation of personnel met on September 5th, 2025. And Brittany, I'll turn it over to you.
There was no action taken at that time discussing the council and mayor compensation.
Thank you, ma'am. G2, the electric committee met on September 8th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. and recommend to council to approve the power supply cost adjustment factor for September 2025 as PSCA 3-month average factor 0.01250 and JV2 0.134966. Is that later on the agenda, or should we go ahead and make a motion now? It's later on the agenda, so we'll get to that for in good of the city. G2, item B, we also recommend to council to approve the proposed changes to electric rule number 12 and electric rule number 26 minus rule 12.8. G3, the water, sewer, refuse, recycling, and litter committee did not meet on September 8th due to lack of agenda items. The municipal properties, building, land use committee did not meet on September 8th, 2025 due to lack of agenda items. And the Parks and Recreation Committee did not meet on September 15th due to lack of agenda items. We'll move to item I, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. There are none this evening. Item J is second readings. There are none as well. And item K, third reading of ordinances and resolutions. There are also none. That will take us to item L, good of the city. L1 is discussion or action. Approval of power supply cost adjustment factor for September 25, SPSCA 3-month average factor 0.01250 and JV2 0.134966. Lori or Kevin?
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to pass it over to Kevin. You did such a
Yeah,
good job
thank-
last time.
Thank you, Council President. We see where these are trending down from the month prior to it. However, they are a little bit higher than they were about a year ago at this time, mainly due to the way the capacity auctions have been skewing the numbers quite a bit here and moving them to higher rates. But there's nothing that's been an outlier that we didn't see coming at this point. So we ask that you approve these for the month of September.
Thank you, Kevin. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Any questions before roll call? All right, Ann, please call the roll.
Russ?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right, that has been approved. Item L2, discussion or action. Direct the law director to draft the appropriate legislation for updating the on-street parking schedule. Lori?
Okay, thank you, Council President. It came to our attention that there was a need to review and update the on-street parking schedule specifically for the Old School Drive. And I have here our city engineer that can share a little bit more about that.
Yes, this came to our attention with the continued development of the villas in that neighborhood. We need to review the parking schedule for that area, Old School to one street being a cul-de-sac street and the other street being a short street with multiple driveways. On Claremont, we're looking at eliminating the on-street parking, and we're going to review what we have set up for Old School, but to do that, it does take council action through Schedule I of the on-street parking. We're just requesting council to direct the law director to draft that legislation for us.
Thank you, Chad. Questions from council? Do we have a motion to direct the law director?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Item L3, discussion or action to approve the proposed changes to electric rule number 12 and electric rule number 26 minus rule 12.8. Kevin, you want that one?
Sure, thank you, Council President. Due to the change in the AMI service for the electric, we had to relook at our discontinuance of service rules and change some of the verbiage. So those in Rule 12 that are marked in red, these were discussed at the Board of Public Affairs as well as the Electric Committee this past week. We're suggesting to make some changes, like in Rule 12.2, to add in there the option of electric mail if they opted for this service, because right now it states that we have to send notices to them by U.S. regular mail. And if those individuals signed up for email, and they have to sign up, we cannot sign up people for that, then we want to put that into rules that their notices could go that way. The other changes that we really want to do is that most of our charges were called trip charges, which was defined as being in person or actually making a trip per se. And we want to make sure that we have the verbiage in here that it can be in person or remotely. And then we changed the charge name from trip charge to a connection, disconnection, and reconnection. What we found is that with the AMI, and it's just so happens that when we become a little bit more efficient with this, that we always went to the house. We would continue to always go to the house during shut-off time and knock on the door. So that was a trip, but from someone from the city of Napoleon. But then we would use to charge another trip charge when they would go back to turn somebody on. Well, we don't have to go back if we can do it remotely. So we could not charge them for that charge. And, you know, most of the cases here, those charges are deterrents from people to not pay their bill. It's not that we want to try to stick it to people per se. It's just a matter that this allows us to put our charges back up to where they were prior to us going with AMI. There was a Rule 12.8. There was about after-hour services. After a lot of discussion about that, that was about not going and turning people on after hours. That was scratched off, and that will be discussed more at a later date.
Later date. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess, Billy, I believe we need to ask the law director to enact legislation so that this would go for, and we would expect this to go for 3 reads. That.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. I will just mention this passed Board of Public Affairs and Electric Committee unanimously, just the verbiage changes here, with the exception of 12.8. So glad that we will revisit that at a later date. Any questions or comments from council? Do you have a motion to direct the law director?
I'll motion.
Second. Thank you. And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right. Item L4, discussion or action, direct the law director to draft the appropriate legislation to allow the city manager to apply for funding for the Maumee River Waterline Crossing Project. Lori.
Thank you, Council President. Once again, we have City Engineer Chad Lofts here to explain.
In an effort to try to find the best funding I can for the river crossing, we've pursued several options, most of which have not panned out. However, utilizing DEPA, as we've done in the past for several projects, including the water plant, wastewater plant, Van Hyne pump station, several projects, we are able to apply for WSRLA through DEPA, which DEPA is the Division of Environmental Financing Assistance through the EPA. WSRLA is water side, WPCLF is the sewer side. Pursuing funding on the water side, we don't know what their rates are, but traditionally they've been quite a bit less than the open market. On the sewer side, we've always received less than 1% interest. My thought was to pursue this funding. If we're able to find other funding as we progress with the project, they will offset. This would be a loan. There's potential for some loan forgiveness, but we will not know that until we bid the project. The application for this, to get on DEPA's calendar for 2025, I have to have the application in by October 15th. So I apologize for the late notice, but I was notified of this, I believe, last Wednesday. So I'm asking council to direct the law director to draft the legislation which would allow the city manager to sign the documents once I have them prepared. We would bring that back to your first meeting in October, and at that time I am going to request emergency and suspension to meet that deadline. But this is in an effort to get funding for the design of that project, and then when we move forward with construction, we do another application and the design loan gets rolled into the construction loan. So if there's any other questions about the WSRLA program, I'll answer them the best I can. When we did the water plant, we were able to get 0% interest. I don't believe we'll be able to get that this time, because that one had to do with harmful algal bloom funding, but we will try to get the rate as low as we possibly can.
Thank you, Chad.
Yep.
Any questions?
Council President. Chad, is there a reason why we just were notified of this, or did it just open up for applications?
So through WSRLA, you have to do a pre-nomination application. I did that in February, and it was due the 1st of March. This is the way they operate.
All right.
I found out in July that we'd been approved, but they never contacted me to have us move forward with the application until last week. Emily emailed me, I believe, on Tuesday or Wednesday. I emailed back that day, get the notification she was out of office till the next day. Was able to get my hands on the actual application, I believe, on Thursday, and that's when I turned in the memo to request to have the legislation drafted.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate it.
Anything else? Chad, you mentioned loan forgiveness. When we go to DC in February, this is
Yeah.
usually one of the topics that we've discussed at least the last 2 years.
Yeah.
If we were to find grant funding that's out there somewhere, could we still apply that grant funding to this?
Yes, when we've used WSRLA in the past, when we apply for the construction, and you'll see it coming in the budget, I'm putting in the budget, a budget estimate construction of $4 million. Total project cost in the neighborhood, 4.5, 4.4 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. If we were to receive any additional grant funding, even though we applied for the 400,000 now, 4 million construction, you are not tied to that amount. What you are tied to is what you end up drawing from them at the end of the project. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why they wait till about a month before you're ready to start the project, maybe 2 months before they tell you what. They say loan forgiveness, it's a grant. They wait to tell you of any loan forgiveness you are going to receive from them. But you can apply outside funding. The only thing it affects sometimes is what prevailing wage rates we have to use, whether they be state or federal, but it doesn't affect anything else in the project. All the federal documents are still required, because WSRLA funding is federal funding. So it won't affect it in any way.
Awesome. Thank you, Chad.
Yep.
Just have to ask Lori something. Lori, is this the application that you were talking about this morning that got very high remarks about how well it was put together, or is that a different one?
That was the report presented to.
Yeah, so there's a couple steps to this. The first step in that is the meeting we had last Friday, which goes over essentially, for lack of a better way of putting it, how organized the city is with its staffing and project manageability. They looked at the financial side, they looked at the administration side, they looked at our asset management. Yeah, the meeting Friday went wonderfully. I even told the gentleman from the EPA I blocked out 4 hours and it took 24 minutes. That was step one. This is the next step. We had to get, Jacob was the gentleman we worked with. We had to get his approval for us to do the application. So we got that approval Friday, 2 days after I got told we could apply. We were told at this meeting, I believe 3 weeks ago, we submitted 110 documents prior to the meeting. But we had everything in order, and a lot of that goes to not only finance for having all their information, but Jeff Weiss with the asset management plan that he keeps and maintains was crucial to that meeting going as smoothly as it did.
Great. Thank you.
Contribution from a lot of departments, and it was amazing. First of all, what all needed to be collected, and then how quickly they collected it. And I know Chad won't say it about himself, but obviously he made the ability for everyone to share it efficiently and get it done. And the remarks at the end were that we are impressively organized. So thanks to
Thank you,
Chad.
Chad.
Council, but I just want to add to that 3 weeks ago, when this first came out, part of our discussion was we're going to have to move this back because we don't think we're going to be able to get everything in time. And then once we started dividing it up, and not just that one fast was organized, everybody was organized, and it, lightened the load, and we were able to get stuff to them rather quickly.
That's great.
I think we had all the documents ready in 4 days.
Nice. Pretty impressive. Call out, Mr. Mayor. All right, unless there are any other questions, can we have a motion to direct the law director?
So moved.
Thank you. And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes?
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr.
Yes.
Dave? And Brittany?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, it's gonna be a busy week. L5 is discussion or action to appoint Ginny Minnick
Minnick, yes.
to the Combined General Health District Board of Directors for a 5-year term. Lori, I'll let you take that.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Henry County Health Commissioner Joy Ermy reached out to me a week or two ago to let me know that the position of, on the health board was vacated by Joel Miller, who was appointed to the Henry County Commissioners, so his seat would need to be replaced. And apparently, according to the ORC, an unexpired term needs to be replaced by the same body who appointed the last person. So apparently, City Council appointed Joel Miller in 2023. So you've had a chance to see Mrs. Minnick's bio. That's who Joy Ermy is recommending for the position. So if you all approve of that, then you would be approving of her for the unexpired term of Joel Miller.
Thank you, Lori. After reviewing Ms. Minnick's bio, were there any questions or comments? Can we have a motion to appoint Ms. Minnick, please? We have a motion?
Motion, I'm sorry.
Okay. Motion and a second with Tom and Brittany. Sorry about that, guys. And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes?
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
And Brittany?
Yes.
All right. We will go around the table. Kevin, we'll start with you.
I've got nothing, thank you.
Tom. Dr. Dave. Brittany?
Nothing for me.
Mr. Mayor?
Nothing today.
Ms. Hayes?
How's progress in Twin Oaks?
The project's going surprisingly well, and I don't mean that to have a negative connotation. You just always expect something to go sideways, and it hasn't yet. We've got the first 2 courses of asphalt on Becca. Neward, we have half of it removed. We'll start removing the other half yet this week. We're going to pour the curbs on the intersection for Chesterfield, probably on Wednesday. Give that time to cure while we finish taking out the rest, but the completion date for it's October 30th or 31st. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm hopeful we'll beat that deadline. In fact, we had residents stop in today asking us if we consider doing more streets. I told them we'll look at it for a budget in a couple of years, but no, it's going very well.
Okay, that's all I have.
While you're up, the south side, where we had to put new sewer lines in,
The water?
the
on
water
Fifth-
lines,
Fifth
are
and
those,
Brown.
we gonna pave those streets this year yet?
My plan is to have that as part of next year's paving project.
Okay.
I've got that prepared for budget, and I think we're supposed to turn in budget the 26th, I believe. But that's one of the streets that I'd like to pave next year.
And
We don't have a resurfacing project scheduled for this year. We just have the full depth.
I guess I was under the assumption that we didn't do that street because we had this project, and then part of the project would be paving it, so I
Well,
had people ask.
the reason we didn't include it was, one, the water line was put in with our own forces, which we did run numbers on. I think I estimated we saved around $110,000 or $115,000 doing that with our own staff. And we had to schedule that work around other things we have to do. We weren't sure when we were going to get it finished, so we weren't able to get it on a schedule with another contractor. And our staff doesn't have the ability to pave the street.
Right.
So we had planned to put it in for next year as part of our miscellaneous resurfacing project.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else, Ken?
I'm good.
Bobby?
Nothing.
Jordan?
Nothing for me.
Billy?
Nothing for me.
Lori?
Lovely. I would like to request an executive session for collective bargaining. And then I would have nothing else after that.
I also have nothing. Can we have a motion to go into executive session for collective bargaining?
Motion?
And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right. We shall return. All right. Can we have a motion to come out of executive session for collective bargaining?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right. No action taken there. Can we have a motion to direct the law director to draft the necessary legislation to enter into a new bargaining unit agreement with the Napoleon Fire Department, IAFF, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave? Brittany?
Yes.
All right. We'll move to item N, approve payment of bills and financial reports. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills and financial reports shall stand approved. I'm hearing none, they'll stand approved. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Second.
Thank you, and please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes?
Ken?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.